Hi, I'm Brad Humphrey, and this is Learning While Listening.
Hi, I'm Brad Humphrey, and in today's podcast, I want to talk about something that I call the day I applauded contractors. Speaking at a recent construction conference, I was overly impressed with all the energy and enthusiasm displayed by, some of the best contractors I've been around. While each owner expressed some of the challenges common to most contractors, they were very optimistic about taking on the future. Leaving this conference really inspired me personally. I normally get a buzz working with contractors anyway, but boy, this group of contractors just seemed to have more spirit, more optimism, and certainly a lot more hunger for moving ahead. Let me share with you what they taught me that every contractor really needs. First of all, they call it true north. Every contractor must have an internal compass that is pointing to true north. True north, as they explained it, was that clear purpose that every owner and leader must have. It isn't only having a vision for your company, although that's important too. It's that mental presence that we're moving as leaders leading a company in the right direction. As owners and leaders, we're addressing the right things, and we're comfortable with the whys and the hows, not just the whats about getting things accomplished. True north is that quiet voice in a contractor's head that speaks wisdom and warning or even encouragement. Another thing they taught me was everyone really is a leader. This point really blew me away. Contractors, no matter the size of their company, they just can't be head buffalo today. Not anymore. You simply cannot excel. You can't maximize your company's potential or grow your company if you're calling all the shots yourself. Now, that's not so easy for the small contractor, but they too need to work hard at turning every one of their employees into more of a leader of some task or process. Until each worker is personally held accountable, realizing that others are dependent on their actions and decisions, you will simply not grow or improve your company. Everyone's a leader isn't just construction propaganda. It's a real focus on raising each worker, no matter his or her education or experience, to being personally responsible for some small or large task or process. Why? Well, because contractors realize that they can't be at every actionable activity, nor can they make every decision. They've got to educate and they got to empower their workers to take personal ownership that will benefit their peers and their crew and their project and their company. Yet another learning point that I got was to have a personal mentor. I was so impressed with this group of construction owners and leaders as they shared story after story of someone who had guided them, who had mentored them. Now, certainly a mentor is important in the early years of a contractor's life, but I was impressed with how many owners still had their own mentor. Someone who they could share their ideas, their fears, their vision with. In some cases, it sounded like a mentor was a psychologist listening to the problem of a contractor. But the longer I listened, the more I was convinced that these owners and leaders were seeking wisdom and clarity and learned lessons from those who had gone on before them. I guess I also realized the humility being expressed by this group as they admitted that they did not know it all. They didn't have all the answers. Contractors confessed that they were still learning and that this learning often kept them fresh and excited for that next day. Yet another little interesting tidbit that I picked up from these guys was team. The members with shared values was important to their organization. Probably the last need that really impressed me was this one, the admission by the contractors on how much they needed leaders on their team that shared the same or similar values. Values here consisted of what most organizations talk about believing in, things such as honesty and integrity, trustworthiness, those kind of things. But I found that many of these contractors and their senior leaders shared other values like family first, maintaining a gentle spirit, working to create win-win experiences, and seeking root causes to problem solving. Many of the contractors pointed to me about some of their senior leaders in the conference as individuals whom they would go to war with. Such a sharing of values strengthens owners and their leaders to having that unspoken trust and bond that is so critical during tough projects and tough times. As we've discussed at our session, I did something that I've only done occasionally through the years. I applauded the contractors and their leaders for their openness and willingness to share their stories, their secrets to being the best contractor possible, and for their hunger to learn more about the answers to taking on the future challenges and opportunities. You see, I usually receive the applause when I finish a workshop or keynote address, if I'm lucky, and told by contractors how much I may have assisted them. But boy, this day, with this group, I was the blessed one. Moving ahead in your own business or as a senior leader for a construction company, seek to find your true north and make more of your employees leaders in your making decisions. Also, never be too old or too proud to seek out a mentor, someone who will listen to your dreams and vision and concerns and provide you with winning advice. And finally, keep the shared values that you have projected, supporting each other in the living out of such items as they can help steer you to greater success and fulfillment. Hey, don't we contribute to a great industry, this construction industry? In what industry can so many people from so many different backgrounds and experiences come together and turn out results that meets needs, solves problems, changes people's lives, and creates greater comfort and confidence in and for others? Hey, here's to being a leader in the greatest industry in the world.